The Minister, a poem by Reverend James A. Robb. He riseth from supper, and took a towel, and poureth water into a basin, and began to wash the disciples' feet. John 13:4 and 5. The Paschal feast was ended. It was the final one, for soon on Calvary's hilltop, God's well-beloved Son would satisfy his justice, its full demand would meet, and make all other offerings forever obsolete. In meekness there Christ a wondrous lesson taught, and did for his disciples what others had forgot, and taking towel and water, did then and there complete the task a servant should have done, and washed disciples' feet. Before the rugged Peter, the Holy One and just, did humbly kneel, and there begin to wash away the dust from feet that soon would turn and run away in fright before the morning dawn would end that dark betrayal night. And Galilean tongue with cursing would declare that he knew nothing of the one now held a prisoner there. Yet knowing his disciple would run in full retreat, still Jesus knelt before him and washed poor Peter's feet. There too among the group were brothers James and John, the scheming sons of Zebedee, whose hearts were set upon the highest seats of honor in the kingdom soon to be, and they had to coax their mother to present their silly plea. But they little knew the nature of the kingdom of the Lord, and the price for such attainment they could not yet afford. Yet there in upper room they sat, and talked of honored seat, while Jesus, Lord of glory, knelt and washed their dusty feet. Among them too was Judas, yet he seemed to be alone, for the purpose deep within him seemed to turn his heart to stone. For the awful scheme now brewing on his part demanded this, that upon the brow of Jesus he would plant a traitor's kiss. So Judas sat in silence among that little band, and gave a final study to the awful deed now planned. And while his calculations he sought to make complete, there Jesus knelt before him and washed his dirty feet. To Matthew, once a publican who taxed his fellow Jew, and to the zealot Simon, whose hate no boundaries knew for Rome and all it stood for, and he could not understand how Matthew could from countrymen the Roman tax demand. And on around that little group, grown strangely silent now, the lowly Jesus moved, and before each man did bow, and clad in servant's costume did then and there complete the humble task of washing the 12 disciples' feet. Then, rising, he addressed them as only he could do. Ye call me Lord and Master, and that is very true. But I would be a minister unto the needs of all, and show that moral greatness oft descends to duties small. O lowly Christ, whose glory was once all laid aside, and midst the sinners of his day for me was crucified. Let me in deep contrition and in penitence complete kneel low like weeping Mary and wash thy wounded feet.